Welcome to Good Mythical MORE. Rich people do crazy stuff, don't they? And then our team makes up crazy stuff that we think rich people would do, and we have to tell the difference.
Yep. But before we do that, we play Daddy Like, Daddy Don't Like. So one daddy likes things, the other daddy doesn't like things. Which daddy do you want to be?
Daddy like hair.
Daddy don't like.
Seriously?
I already lost.
You already lost?
Yeah.
Daddy incapable of not liking.
Can I tell you what? Can I defend myself?
I'll give you one more chance.
I was gonna say Daddy don't like no hair, but then I thought that it was baldest. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't want to throw bald people under the bus.
Right. And so I just froze up because I couldn't think of an alternative.
What about Bezos himself, though?
That's what was on the brain. I got Bezos on the brain.
You want some Daddy Bezos money. You don't want to turn him against you.
Daddy don't.
All right, fine. You don't get a second chance.
All right.
Stevie, I'm correct in what I said, right? Sometimes I just say things.
That daddy like hair?
Daddy like hair in all the right places. No. About the concept of this game. You've lied to us. You're going to lie to us. But you're also going to tell us the truth about exorbitant lives of... Let's play.
We're gonna go through history. I'm gonna tell you about some rich people. They've done some crazy stuff.
Lives of rich people.
Or have they? Because I could just be making all this up, and I am reading it for the first time. Marcus Licinius Crassus, you know him as Mark.
Yeah.
Was
good old Mark. Rich Mark.
A Roman general who was often considered the richest man in Rome. Crassus started Rome's first fire brigade, but his men would actually allow buildings to burn until their owners sold their property to Crassus at abysmally low prices. If they didn't sell, the fire brigade let the building burn to a crisp.
Well, good plan.
Yeah, that's pretty cold and
this
heartless.
Is kind of like that guy that we knew who worked for the Buies Creek Volunteer Fire Department, who would set the houses on fire.
Yeah.
Like the abandoned houses, then they could go put them out. Yeah. But he did get caught.
He did get caught. We're not going to say his name.
Right.
Yeah.
He wasn't very rich though.
A lot of the buildings that we would frequent were
targets.
It was kind of, it was a bummer for us because we would go hang out in those abandoned houses.
And then they get burned down.
I think this dude is corrupt, but he was making it rain.
I don't know. I just haven't heard. I've heard of like Marcus Aurelius.
Well, just because you think you've heard of every Roman that's done
the
stuff?
richest Roman ever? I feel like I would have.
She said the richest Roman ever?
At the time?
The richest man in Rome.
The richest man in Rome. I feel like he would be more famous.
Well, the thing that's getting me is that, like, if your house is on fire, you don't have much. I guess that's the point. You don't have much room to negotiate.
The story sounds true,
but it's like, who wants to sell a house? Who would want to keep a house that's burning anyway? Yeah, this is brilliant. It's sad. It's wrong.
The story sounds true. It's the name
true.
that I'm taking issue with.
It's real.
Yeah. Hey, he'll buy your house or he'll let it burn to the ground.
What was his name? Marcus?
Marcus.
You lose it either way.
Licinius.
At least get
Crassus.
some money. I wonder if there was, so he was buying a bunch of half-burnt houses.
But not too burnt.
Just a little burnt?
Yeah. I think a lot of that stuff was made out of, like, stone and stuff. I mean, what's going to burn?
Good point.
Luviko Giannini.
Hopefully he's Italian.
Ludo was an Italian aristocrat during the 13th century who became rich through his improved design of the watermill, while an astute engineer, Giannini, was obsessed with two passions, self-portraits and not wearing clothes. In his lifetime, he commissioned over 700 self-portraits and gave many away as gifts, which is odd considering that these paintings were all of him in the nude in various woodland settings.
There's so many details in this that would be so fun to make up. I'm taking issue with the making money off of an improved design of a windmill, of a watermill. What did it say?
Windmill.
Yeah, watermill.
Watermill.
Because I think this is like pre-patent. I don't know how much money you made off of an invention in the 13th century. So I'm going with fake and lame.
Nude in the woods. Rich people like to get portraits commissioned of themselves.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and then they will, they'll hang them up in places that then they have to see all the time. It's kind of like wearing a sweatshirt with a picture of yourself and your friend on it.
What are you
You
talking
know, it's
about?
like it's a bit strange. It's better if you wear it. I'm gonna say this is fake. Too many details.
If he went out into the woods nude for 700 portraits, and each portrait took like a week for the paint, this is fake.
I did the math.
It's fake.
He would get poison ivy.
But
He would get
oh god, I can't even imagine. Oh, Ludo.
And when you get poison ivy in those sensitive places, wow.
All right, let's hear another one. Rich people can
John.
do something crazy.
Mad Jack Mitten.
Mad Jack Mitten?
John Mad Jack?
Mad Jack Mitten was a British aristocrat.
Yeah, he was an aristocrat.
Great movie.
In the 1800s, who in modern day currency made about $1 million a year off of his estates. Eccentric in his entire life growing up, Mad Jack was known to play practical jokes on his tutors, such as the time he left a horse in one tutor's bedroom. Fond of pets, he had 2,000 dogs in his manor and fed his favorites steak and champagne. He also once showed up to a dinner party riding a bear and got bit in the calf because bear.
Real. I was thinking it was fake until the bit in the calf.
Riding a
That
bear.
is-
How do you ride a bear?
With a saddle, a bear saddle.
Wow, how do you ride a bear? Google that.
Yeah, see? Bear saddle.
Huh.
They don't like it, though.
No,
In fact, that's why they'll bite you in the calf.
John Mad Jack Mitten.
This seems. I just don't think. No, this is fake.
Real.
Real. Is there a picture of this?
Picture of his calf wound.
Is there some footage? No. All right.
2,000 dogs. 700 nude
crazy.
portraits in the woods.
Yeah, but see, one of those is believable.
A lot of dogs riding a bear. Riding a bear. That sounds like. Man. That sounds like fun.
Are the 2,000 dogs? Are they like in a room? Are they in like kennels?
Yeah, they're drinking
In his
champagne.
manor.
Just hanging out, man. He probably has like kennels and kennels and kennels.
Those dogs had it.
All right, let's hear another.
John Jacob Astor was a German-born merchant who made his fortune trading in furs in the early 19th century. But he didn't only sell fur. Astor's fortune was also made by sneaking opium into China against imperial orders.
Okay.
When he died in 1848, Astor was worth $168 billion in today's money.
What?
Wow.
What? I mean, the opium trade is something that my kids studied, but I didn't. You know, it's interesting. Like when we came up, the stuff that we learned in history class, it's like there's a lot more history than what we learned growing up.
Yeah, we can tell you a lot about North Carolina.
Yeah, I listened in that class.
All the things that happened in North Carolina.
I
and I use that wisdom every day.
I mean, people are willing to pay for that opium. You know, it's like it's
There's
like
a lot of money in
it's
drugs.
like crack.
A lot of money in drugs. But okay, and I don't know a lot about economics.
So
but
that's what I'm saying.
But here's what
True.
I'm going to say. The reason I'm going to go with fake and lame, and I'm probably wrong,
Billion.
is $168 billion. Now, yes, it's in today's money. But I think that the people who are in that top 0.00001%, the Bezoses of the world, they're so much richer than the richest people in the past ever were, that like that much money, I don't think anybody had that much money in today's dollars back in the day because the gap has gotten so big.
Yeah.
I'm going off rudimentary economic knowledge.
And I'm going with my gut.
It's real.
Oh, okay. See, I know nothing. I know nothing.
And what the opium trade? What would people do with all that opium? Would they just get high?
Well,
Like, what was the point?
no.
Like, I don't.
Have you seen Tombstone?
I didn't study it, but my kids studied it.
Have
They
you seen
used it and
Tombstone?
Stuff, right?
People used it to, escape. And people were using it for legitimate like pain relief, but then they would get addicted to it in the same way that people get addicted to it now.
It was all to get high. Hermund, Witch Burner, Turgard.
Witch burner.
We're just taking the witch burner from that.
Witch burner
Okay.
Turgard?
Was a Viking king who pillaged France and England during his reign, bringing back riches worth $2 billion in modern currency to his kingdom in Denmark. Obsessed with sacrifices and the occult, Hermund spent his fortunes offering steep rewards to those who would bring him real-life witches. He would then perform mass witch burnings at lavish carnival-style spectacles for his subjects to enjoy.
Well, that would be fun. It'd be fun. I gotta admit that. As somebody who's got some Viking blood in them.
Oh yeah.
A good old witch burning, and nothing quite like it.
Think of it from the perspective of the witch.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit horrible.
Here's why I don't think this happened. Because the Vikings didn't care so much about that witch stuff. That was the English who cared about the witches. I think the Vikings kind of just were like,
Yeah.
you're into witchcraft? We don't care. I mean, we will take your crap from you and kill you. But it's not because you're a witch, it's just because we want what you've got.
In fact, when I watched that show, Vikings, which is where I learn everything from shows.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The Magic Man they go see.
They were into all that stuff, but then they crucified the missionary.
Right.
That was who they wanted to kill.
Right. Yeah. Spoiler
the-
alert.
Yeah.
He was on the show for a few seasons.
Yeah. So that's why
They killed that guy. Look forward to that.
Yeah, that's when I stopped. That was pretty visceral.
Before we get this answer, there's a lot of. this is
So yeah, I think it's
the way the tension has built. I love it. I'm gonna just let it stay right there because I know you really want to know the answer to this.
Yeah.
But I want to remind you that I think there's a little bit of room. There's a little bit of room in your inbox for the mythical newsletter. Let it in. Just let it into your inbox. See how it feels.
Yeah.
If you want to receive product announcements, the Mythical Monthly, and more, sign up at mythicalnewsletter.com.
We put a nice little note in there.
And we do.
A little sneak peek into stuff. Mythicalnewsletter.com. We are both saying fake.
Correct. Fake.
Okay, good.
No witch burner. This is I'm sure there are witch burners.
But not Viking witch burners.
I'm not sure.
Vikings are witch lovers.
Zu Khan was ruler of the Mongol Empire after Genghis Khan's death. Khan was obsessed with opulence and possessed a fortune equaling $7 trillion in modern day currency before his death in 1247. He had a 10-foot bust of himself made out of diamonds and horse hides, a piece that is now kept at the British Museum.
Oh, really?
Now, we've both been
To the British Museum.
independently.
Do you remember seeing this? The Trillionaire?
I saw a pile of horse hides.
I kind of walked past that.
with like 2 diamonds for eyes.
I didn't stop to look at that.
I was like,
There's
what
just
is
so
that? Is
many
that
things
like-
at the British Museum.
I thought they were covering something that they weren't finished with in horse hides. It was just a pile with 2 diamonds for eyes.
Man, you should have stuck
That's why
around.
this is true. I've seen it.
I'm going to go back to my logic that was wrong and once again say, trillionaire, no.
Yeah. I'm saying yeah.
Nah, it's fake.
Horse hides and diamonds.
It's fake. Now,
Should have known.
you know
Should
about,
have known better.
speaking of Genghis Khan, though, you know that dude, more people who live today are related to him than any other person in history or something. I don't know how to say that in the way that makes sense.
I had heard that, but it was probably from you, so this is just repetitive.
No, look that fact up. Genghis Khan is his seed
Genghis
was
Khan
spread very wide.
seed spread. Search that.
Related to everyone, yeah. In an international group of geneticists studying Y chromosome data have found that nearly 8% of the men living in the region of the former Mongol Empire carry Y chromosomes that are nearly identical. This translates to 0.5% of the male population in the world, or roughly 16 million descendants living today. He has 16 million descendants.
NationalGeographic.com.
And it says, Genghis Khan was a prolific lover, DNA data implies.
Maybe he was just into genetics firsthand.
He anticipated all this.
You know,
He's like, I want to be the father of 16 million.
It all comes down to this. Henry Cyril Paget?
Cyril Paget?
Paget, 5th Marquis of Anglesey, which I do have the pronunciation for, was an aristocrat.
Yeah, those old aristocrats.
Dang it! Born in the late 19th century, after his father passed away, Henry received a yearly allowance of over 50 million pounds in today's currency. Spending his entire fortune on himself and going bankrupt in the process, Henry modified his car to spray patchouli from the exhaust pipe and also converted a chapel at his family home into a theater where he would hire theater companies to come perform and always made sure to write in a role for himself.
his car farted patchouli.
Man, this dude would like kill it at like a Fish concert. Can you imagine rolling up? It's like, what is that dude? That dude is shooting patchouli out of his exhaust. Everybody just be going and like smoking the exhaust.
You don't smoke patchouli.
I know, but it's a cologne. But I mean, you want to get as much as you can. So what is the? I don't think this score is right. Am I down by one?
I do not like patchouli. It gives me a headache.
Twinkie Finkies. Is
I'm
the
down by
score
one.
correct?
Okay.
They don't care. Seems that only you care.
Oh, we're tied. Oh, we're tied.
Yeah, it all comes down to this.
This is real.
That
patchouli fart.
There's no way he got patchouli come out of his exhaust of his car. Everything else is believable, but no. That is shooky.
This is real.
No, it's not. Prove it.
And you can probably get one of those today at like one of those auto parts places. I bet you can get one.
A patchouli pipe?
Patchouli pipe. Do you have the patchouli pipe?
I'll take a patchouli pipe on my geoprism. My geoprism needs a patchouli pipe. Congratulations, you win nothing.
Yeah.
Get Mythicality sent straight to your inbox. Sign up for the Mythical newsletter at mythicalnewsletter.com.